Alright, so in this video what we're going to do is create our animation for our character, okay? We're just going to create two animations. We're just going to do a walk cycle and then just an attack. Now this is wildly different depending on what you have. Like if you have a bipedal character, there's a certain kind of walk cycle you would want. If you have a quadruped, there's a different kind of walk cycle. There's different gaits for horses. Meaning they can trot and they can run and they can walk, and they have specific, there's like a whole science behind it, and it's like for competitions and things. There's different gaits to different animals. Spiders are like that too. They have a run gait and they have like a different one that's like a crawling one. So what you would want to do is look up. You could just look up like whatever the animal is and walk cycle, and you'll probably find either a video or an illustration showing what the keyframes should be. I'm just going to kind of briefly cover roughly how to do just like a regular old like two-legged walk here. Bipedal, if you will. And then after that, we'll just do like an attack thing. Okay, so first thing I want to do is just make sure my animation settings, so if you click on this thing here, I like to do 24 FPS times 1, so make sure that's set on. And also make sure that your, let's see, where is that? That was in there actually. Time slider, 24. There we go. Make sure the frame rate's also set to 24. Otherwise, this won't show up as 24. I'm just using 24 because that's what we used to do for film. It doesn't really make that much difference. But your frame positions might be different. All right, so make sure those are set so that's playing correctly. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set. This is the time slider down here. For some reason, it's not showing up. Just go to Windows UI Elements. You'll see time slider and you'll see range slider. Okay, this thing here is the range slider. So basically it shows what's up here, and then the time slider is what's above it. So this number here and this number on the outside here, that's the total. And then the inside is the part being shown. Okay, so that's how that works. But honestly, it's totally irrelevant because I could make this 500 and now it goes to 500. But I could also switch it back to 200. And if you cut it down, you don't lose any keys you made past 200. So it's sort of irrelevant. But what I do want to do is only show, I'm going to put in here 24 frames, okay? Because the walk cycle is usually a beat, which means there's one step per, or there's one step per 12 frames, per half second, because I'm doing 24 frames per second. All right, so that's what we want to do. So what I'm going to do is just do the legs first. We're going to do kind of a layering approach. So I'm going to grab this controller curve here. That's the easiest way to do it. And what I'm going to do is say, okay, this leg I'm going to put forward. So I'm going to put it as forward as I can kind of get it before the leg snaps. So we'll go like that. All right. And then what I want to do is set a key. You set a key by hitting S. Okay. Then I want to go to 12 and do the opposite. So I'm going to take this and push it all the way back, like so we'll say, and then I'll hit S. So now if I slide across, you can see I'm doing that. Now, for some reason you need to delete a key. What you can do is just right click over top the key and go to delete. You can copy them here. If you need to move a key, you can click on it and then hold shift and click, and you'll see this little thing will pop up. You want to grab these inside arrows and you can slide the key around, okay? So that's how you would do that. Now I want to copy this key. So I could right click over it, copy, go over here, right click and paste, and just do paste. And now if we hit play, you'll see it's going to go back and forth, which is what I want. I'm trying to make a walk cycle. And we're just going to do the same thing, but the opposite. So again, I'm going to grab that controller that we made. And this one's got to be back here, so we'll put it back. I'm going to hit S. And then at 12, I'm going to pull it forward, S. Now instead of copying and pasting, what I'm going to do is, this is a neat little trick. If you hold the middle mouse button, click and drag the middle mouse button. Notice the slider's moving, but the character is not. And then I can drag here, and then I'll just hit S. And that will set a key in that position. And now if I hit play, you can see he's going back and forth. Not really a walk cycle per se, but you get kind of the idea. All right. Now, those are our main extremes, okay? That's usually when I animate our extremes. So what I need to do is have the legs, as they're coming forward, they should come off the ground, and then they land. So I'm going to go halfway in between, and I'm just going to go pull this up a little bit, and I'm also going to rotate it a little bit, like that, so that he's dragging his leg a little. And then I'll just hit S to key it, and then you'll see up, and then he'll step. Okay, I'll do the same thing on this side. I'm going to go to this one, and as it comes forward at 18, that's halfway between 12 and 24, or 12 and 24, we're going to pull it up, and also rotate it down. Maybe that's a little bit too high. Like so, and we'll hit S. And you'll see it'll look a little bit more like he's walking. Now again, it kind of depends on the kind of walk you're going for. I'm just going to add a little more pizzazz here. So what I have happen here is that as he comes forward, see it's curled like this, but I'm going to have it that on 24, I'm actually going to roll it up like this so that it's, and I'll move it up a little bit, so that he goes like this. And then I need to copy now 24 to 1. So I'm just going to middle mouse button, click and drag, and hit S, because 1 would be down. And then I'm going to go 2 frames down, and then I'm just going to rotate this back down to 0. And I'll just type in 0 up here, and then we'll just hit S. Okay, so now his foot will go down. Let's move this down a little too, actually. It looks a little high. Okay. So now if we hit play, you'll see, right? And I just need to do the same thing on this one. So I'm going to grab this one's curve, and it's going like this. And again, at 12, I'm just going to rotate it up. We'll move it up a little bit. And then 2 frames afterwards, I'm just going to rotate it down. And we'll move it down a little bit, like so. So it looks like he's stepping. So that way he's doing heel-toe. See how he looks like his heel's hitting and then his toes? And that's roughly good enough for the start of that walk, okay? It's not great. We could do a lot more with it, but that's a good start. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to make his body go up and down. So we're going to animate this thing's positions. And the thing is, these can all be a lot more robust. I'm just trying to do as quickly and whatever as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to key S on 1, key S on 12, and key S on 24. And that way, that will just be what those positions are, and they're all the same. Now what I want to happen is I want my down and up positions. So the down position, so my middle position is 1 between these two, between 1 and 12. My middle position was 6, right? But the down should be at 4 and the up should be at 8, which means that at 4, I want to go down like that, and we'll hit S. So he'll go down, then it'll go like this, and then the highest position will be 8, and we'll just go up and hit S. And then again, 16 will be down, S, and 20 will be up, and S. And then you'll see an up and down. Now, you got to play around with it. I did a little bit too much. That's fine. But it could do more. Like, there's no waddling. He's not twisting this way. He's also not twisting with his leg. He's not shifting his hips or anything like that. But I'm just trying to make this as quick as possible. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to do his arms here. So the arms, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to rotate them both down and select them both at the same time. Looks great. We're just going to key it here, and then I'll also key it at 24. And we're just going to swing them. So just because it's a typical walk cycle thing. So we'll say what is this? 1. This leg is back, so his arm should be forward. So I'm going to move it forward, like so. And then at 12, hit that leg's forward, so this one should be back. And then hit S. And I just got to make sure I copy 1 to 24, so 1 and 24 are the same. So you see it moves the opposite. We're going to grab this one, and I'm going to do kind of the same thing. So this one should be back. Let's make sure we roll it this way as well. Hit S. And I'm just going to go ahead and middle mouse button, click and drag, and hit S. So it's the same there too. And then at 12, we're going to bring this one forward like that. And we'll hit S to key it. And then you'll see his arms now are going back and forth, which looks kind of weird because that's not how a duck does it. But that's fine. And then from there, we could do things where we would animate. Now notice only the keys that we have keyed on actually show up here. It only shows one object at a time. So from here, I could do things where I would, grab this and, have him bend his arms and things like that. I could also do things where his neck and stuff is going. So let's do this. I'm just going to grab this one, and this one. And we'll hit S here. And I'll hit S at 24, and we'll hit S at 12. So it's all the same position there. And then all I'm going to do is just have him, maybe back up a little bit, hit S. Actually, let's put that. I'm going to shift, click, and drag. So we'll have him go up here, and then at 8, I'm going to have it go down a little in S. So it's up, up, down. And then we'll do the same thing here. So we'll do up here, S. And then at 20, I will do down, S. But I'm keying multiple joints at a time. So it looks pretty stupid, but you get the idea, right? So it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but yeah, there's a basic locomotion The main thing is just to get those legs working. Really what you want to do, because I don't have a bunch of time to, this is only one part of it. I would look and try to follow. I would look up reference of if it's an animal that you're doing or if it's a creature that's somewhat like an actual real live animal. Look up videos of it, watch it walk, try to do an action analysis is what we call that, where you just try to understand its way of movement. And then also, if you can also find the frames, maybe someone's already done it and they already have it drawn out. So there's lots of them for quadrupeds with cats and dogs and horses and stuff. You can find drawings that lay out kind of a diagram of how to animate those. Okay. I'm going to call this good for the walk cycle, and then we'll just do an attack, and then we'll export it out.